What's up guys, it's RP. I am in Japan and behind me this is the quintessential underbone, the Honda C125 Super Cub that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm here in Japan, Tokyo, and that is a rental that I've had for the past like 4 days, and I'm going to be running you through some of the very basic things about the C125 if you do intend to look out for one of these in Singapore or probably in whatever country you're in. In Singapore we have this, so it's a rather good bike. To make a long story short, I'll talk about more in the rest of the video because I am going to do it post. Let's start with some technical readouts. The 2020 Super Cub is powered by a 125cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine putting out 9.2 horsepower and 11 Nm of torque at max efficiency. It comes with a 4-speed semi-automatic transmission with a centrifugal clutch, is fuel injected with an electric start, has a 3.7 litre fuel tank, gets 17-inch wheels front and back, and weighs in at 109 kilograms wet. The C125 gets ABS in the front with a 2-pot caliper disc brake, while the rear is equipped with a drum brake. You also get a keyless fob that is used for starting the electrical circuit that lets you start the ignition, open the seat, as well as disengage the steering lock. Beyond that, the C125 is rather bare bones with no notable components that you wouldn't find on any other typical underbone of its class. Okay, so to start off with, one of the very first few things I want to talk about is the dashboard. I'm going to just do it very quickly. At the top over here you have a very traditional needle-based speedometer. There is no tachometer. In fact, the brother to this bike, the Hunter Cub, all the mod Super Cubs, they don't have a tachometer, which isn't particularly a huge problem because all the power comes out down low. So having a tachometer means absolutely nothing. You can really button dyno the power band very easily. The power comes in immediately after you open the throttle. As long as you are within the correct gear, you will feel it moving. Otherwise, the bike just doesn't feel like it's moving. So for those of you that are a bit of a number nerd out there, it may be a bit of an annoyance to you, but for all practical intents and purposes, there's absolutely no need for one. The dashboard itself is rather bare bones. You've got your usual high beam light, signal light, check engine light, neutral light. Over here you've got a fuel gauge, very nice. On this I'll talk about fuel efficiency later on in the video. You've got, of course, your it's hard to see in the light, the backlight. So there's your total odometer, the clock, and there's only one button that works on basic cycles, the dash, and it basically brings you through trip A, trip B, and of course the final odometer. And then when you hold it down, it just resets the trip. Very simple system here. No messy buttons and knickknacks to deal with. There's a light here that I would like to talk about later because it will blink. Now, the first thing you want to know about the C125, at least this modern bike, is that it's keyless. So whenever you are away from the bike, it will start to blink, and then it will give you a sound, a beep beep, to tell you that the key is far away enough from it to shut down the bike. Buttons, very simple: high beam, low beam, horn, your turn signals, ignition. Other than that, there's nothing else. Of course, all you have is the front brake lever, the rear brake lever, and of course the stereotypical underbone heel toe shifter that's on the left side. Notice no clutch, it's an underbone. I think I will talk about this in an underbone video later on. Now, to start the bike, all you need to do is have the key in proximity of the bike. Right now it's in my pouch. All you need to do when you walk up to the bike is let's get this out of the way. push this in once, and of course this blue light will come on. I've already done that. Okay, right now the power is that's when it's turned off after a period of inactivity when you're setting it to 0. Okay, to start the bike, it's very simple as being within proximity with the key. Press this once, the light will come on and a beep will sound, and then you just push this to 1 and this will turn on pretty much all the electricals, and you can hit the ignition to start the bike. Very simple as that. In terms of performance, depending on the weight of the rider and other loads, you are most likely going to top out the C125 at around 90 kilometers per hour, and it is going to take a very long time to get there, which isn't really a problem since speed isn't its selling point. It does struggle quite a bit on the hills, if I am to be honest, requiring one to slowly muscle up in first gear. What we really want to focus on is the fuel economy you're going to get out of one of these little bikes. In my personal experience, I'm getting a whopping 63 kilometers per litre from riding in city roads exclusively. This means on a full tank, you're getting a range of about 230 kilometers before you are totally empty. The range isn't exactly spectacular on the larger stage, to be honest, but the consumption is incredibly good for anyone on a tight budget. The brakes are also deceptively good because despite the drum brake fitted on the rear, the C125 actually can stop on the dime up to 70 kilometers per hour due to how light it is. The overall width of the bike as well as its height is also incredibly compact. Lane splitting is actually rather easy on one of these, and on top of that, the thin 17-inch wheels and low hung mass make it incredibly maneuverable. The suspension and ground clearance on the C125 is not really stellar, though being good enough for city riding in a law-abiding country like Singapore or Japan, but you're going to have problems in places where curb hopping and potholes are the norm. Coming from a 180 cm tall man weighing in at 75 kilograms, the C125 felt a bit cramped in my hands at times. The handlebars are short and low, and I think they would be perfect for the average East or Southeast Asian, where heights average around 158 cm for women and 170 cm for men. However, in terms of legroom, there wasn't an issue for me, and I didn't have to suffer a hunched over posture personally. The heel-toe shifter for the C125 is a tad bit difficult to operate while wearing boots. The front portion to shift up a gear isn't the problem, but the heel pedal is tucked very close to the bodywork of the bike itself, making full contact with the center of your heel while in boots difficult and requiring you to hit it with the edge of your boot heel. It's not much of a problem with lighter footwear, however. The distinctive lower fairing on the C125 also does not do much to shield one's legs from the elements, in this case primarily rain. Expect it to only help you in deflecting chilly winter winds. The seat is pretty wide and plush for me, certainly one of the more comfortable bikes to sit on for long periods of time. However, I would note that it is rather short and small than the seats of many modern underbones, so if you have a plus size S, you might find it difficult to contain yourself on it. As for the keyless ignition, it faces the same problem as many scooters and underbones, being located just under the steering on the right side and very close to your knees. So for lefties like me, used to the ambidextrous centrally mounted keyholes on many bikes, this is a minor inconvenience that takes getting used to. What about its looks? Personally speaking, I think the C125 Super Cub is iconic. It has not strayed far from its roots, and despite its humble origins, does give a feeling of being rather premium of a motorcycle. which isn't far from the truth as it costs more than the average underbone sold by either Yamaha or Honda. The round headlights, mirrors, and soft edges all around just have a rather tame and friendly image to it, while the tasteful application of chrome bits on the exhaust, mirrors, and bits of the trim just give it a bit of class. The C125, despite being marketed as the everyman's bike, in my humble opinion, is really not exactly the best for what it was designed to do. You see, the only real selling point about the C125 is its fuel economy and ease of use, what with the keyless fob, ABS, and low maintenance engine overall. However, because of that keyless fob as well as ABS, the C125 costs a tad bit more than the usual bargain bin 125 underbones that many working class individuals are looking for, like the 110cc Honda Waves, or even some of the older 125cc Honda Waves with fuel injection. Hell, even the Yamaha T150s are more affordable for better performance and a fuel economy that is nearly on par. So really, the target demographic for the C125 Super Cub, in my opinion, would have to be individuals in their, I say, 50s and 60s with a thick pair of nostalgia glasses, or those riding the retro wave with disposable income, looking for a reliable and easy to use city commuter. If you felt my review of the 2020 Honda C125 Super Cub was useful, do remember to give me a like and thumbs up, and remember to subscribe for more motorcycling content. And do remember to leave a comment down below if you wish to correct any mistake I made or ask any question about the C125. This has been RP, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.